In the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean lies Diego Garcia, a tiny island shrouded in geopolitical intrigue. This remote atoll, often overlooked on the world map, has a history as complex as it is fascinating. For decades, it has been home to a strategic UK-US military base, a linchpin in global military operations, and a symbol of international cooperation. But in recent years, Diego Garcia became an unexpected refuge for a group of Sri Lankan Tamil migrants seeking asylum. These individuals, fleeing conflict and persecution, arrived on the island with little more than the clothes on their backs and a glimmer of hope. Their arrival marked the beginning of an extraordinary journey filled with hope, uncertainty, and legal battles. They set up makeshift camps, trying to carve out a semblance of normalcy in an unfamiliar land. This is the story of their struggle for survival on a remote island, where every day presented new challenges. From finding food and shelter, to navigating the complexities of their legal status, their resilience was constantly tested. Their fight for recognition and rights was relentless. They held meetings with officials, sought legal counsel, and even staged peaceful protests to make their voices heard. After years of uncertainty, their perseverance paid off. They were granted asylum and relocated to the UK, where a new chapter of their lives began. It is a story that highlights the human cost of displacement, the emotional toll of leaving one's homeland, and the challenges of starting anew in a foreign country. The complexities of international law played a significant role in their journey. Legal battles were fought in courtrooms, and their plight was covered by journalists worldwide, bringing attention to their cause. Despite the hardships, the enduring power of hope in the face of adversity shone through. Moments of joy and community were found even in the most challenging times. Join us as we delve into the lives of these migrants, exploring their experiences, challenges, and aspirations as they embark on a new chapter in their lives. Through their stories, we gain insight into the broader issues of migration, human rights, and the quest for a better future. Their journey is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the universal desire for safety, dignity, and a place to call home. As they navigate their new lives in the UK, their story continues to unfold, offering lessons in courage, perseverance, and the enduring hope for a brighter tomorrow. Their journey to Diego Garcia was fraught with peril. Fleeing conflict and persecution in their homeland, they braved treacherous seas in search of safety and a future free from fear. But instead of finding solace, they found themselves stranded on a remote island, far from the world's gaze. With limited resources and nowhere else to go, the migrants were forced to create a makeshift life for themselves. Military tents became their homes, offering little protection from the elements. Food and water were scarce and basic amenities were lacking. The camp, hastily erected on the fringes of the military base, became a stark reminder of their precarious existence. As months turned into years, the migrants' plight became increasingly desperate. Their arrival on Diego Garcia sparked a legal battle that would drag on for what seemed like an eternity. Lawyers representing the migrants argued that they were being unlawfully detained and denied their basic human rights. The UK government, caught between its legal obligations and its strategic interests, maintained that Diego Garcia was not part of the UK's immigration system. The migrants, they argued, had no right to claim asylum on the island. But amidst the legal wrangling, a glimmer of hope emerged. Human rights groups rallied to the migrants' cause, shining a spotlight on their plight. Life in the makeshift camp was a constant struggle. The migrants, many of whom had arrived with nothing but the clothes on their backs, faced daily challenges. Access to healthcare was limited, and education for the children was rudimentary at best. Allegations of hardship and abuse within the camp surfaced, painting a grim picture of their living conditions. Reports of sexual assault and harassment raised serious concerns about the safety and well-being of the most vulnerable members of the community. Yet even in the face of adversity, the migrant spirit remained unbroken. A new chapter begins. Arrival in the UK. After years of legal battles and uncertainty, a breakthrough came in the form of an unprecedented decision. The journey had been long and arduous, filled with countless obstacles and moments of despair. Many had lost hope, but perseverance and resilience kept their dreams alive. The UK government announced that it would relocate the migrants to the UK, offering them a chance to rebuild their lives. This decision was a beacon of hope, a lifeline for those who had been caught in the web of bureaucracy and red tape for far too long. The news was met with a mix of relief and cautious optimism. Families who had been separated for years saw a glimmer of hope for reunification. Individuals who had been living in uncertainty could finally envision a future with stability and security. Finally, after years of living in limbo, the migrants were given the opportunity to step foot on British soil. The moment was surreal, filled with a whirlwind of emotions, joy, relief, and a sense of accomplishment. They had made it. Their arrival marked the beginning of a new chapter in their lives, one filled with both promise and uncertainty. The streets of the UK, bustling with life and opportunity, were now their new home. But with this new beginning came the challenges of adaptation and integration. They were now faced with the daunting task of adapting to a new culture, learning a new language, and building new relationships. The process of integration was not just about learning English, it was about understanding and embracing a new way of life, and navigating a complex system. From filling out forms to understanding legal requirements, the path ahead was filled with challenges. But with the support of local communities and organizations, they were not alone in this journey. The road to integration was long, but the promise of a better future made every step worthwhile. Uncertain futures, navigating legal complexities. While the relocation to the UK provided a much-needed respite from the hardships of Diego Garcia, it did not erase the uncertainties that clouded their future. The migrants were granted temporary entry clearance, allowing them to stay in the UK for a limited period while their cases were being reviewed. However, their legal status remained precarious. They were prohibited from working, limiting their ability to support themselves and rebuild their lives independently. The government's stance on their long-term future remained ambiguous, leaving them in a state of limbo. Diego Garcia, a geopolitical chessboard. This remote island, located in the heart of the Indian Ocean, has been at the center of international intrigue and strategic maneuvering for decades. The plight of the Sri Lankan Tamil migrants unfolded against the backdrop of a complex geopolitical dispute over Diego Garcia and the Chagos Islands. These migrants, fleeing civil unrest and persecution in their homeland, found themselves caught in a web of international politics far beyond their control. The UK's decision to lease Diego Garcia to the United States in the 1960s marked a significant moment in Cold War history. This strategic move was intended to bolster Western military presence in the Indian Ocean, a region of growing importance during that era, and the subsequent expulsion of the Chagosian people, who had lived on the islands for generations, was a tragic consequence of this geopolitical strategy. The Chagosians were forcibly removed from their homeland, their lives uprooted and their futures uncertain. This forced displacement had long been a source of international controversy. Human rights organizations and activists have consistently highlighted the injustice faced by the Chagosians, calling for their right to return to their ancestral lands. The migrants' arrival on Diego Garcia thrust this long-standing dispute back into the spotlight. Their presence on the island reignited debates about sovereignty, human rights, and the ethical implications of geopolitical decisions. Their presence on the island served as a stark reminder of the human cost of geopolitical maneuvering. These individuals, seeking refuge and safety, became symbols of the broader struggles and injustices that have plagued the region for decades, and the enduring legacy of colonialism. The history of the Chagos Islands is deeply intertwined with the broader narrative of British colonialism in the Indian Ocean, a legacy that continues to shape the region's political landscape. The UK government's handling of the migrant situation drew criticism from some quarters, with many arguing that the government's actions were inconsistent with its stated commitments to human rights and international law. Who accused it of hypocrisy and double standards? Activists and critics pointed out the glaring contradictions in the UK's policies, highlighting the need for a more just and equitable resolution to the ongoing crisis. The human cost of displacement. The story of the Sri Lankan Tamil migrants is a poignant reminder of the human cost of displacement. Forced to flee their homes in search of safety and a better life, they found themselves caught in a web of legal and geopolitical complexities. Their journey is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. It is also a story that raises important questions about our collective responsibility to those fleeing conflict and persecution. As the world grapples with an unprecedented refugee crisis, the plight of the Diego Garcia migrants serves as a timely reminder of the need for compassion, understanding, and a commitment to finding lasting solutions. Conclusion: a long road ahead. The relocation of the Sri Lankan Tamil migrants from Diego Garcia to the UK marked the end of one chapter in their lives, but the beginning of another, uncertain journey. While they were now safe from the hardships they endured on the island, their futures remained far from secure. Their story is a powerful reminder of the human cost of conflict, displacement, and geopolitical maneuvering. It is a story that underscores the urgent need for humane and sustainable solutions to the global refugee crisis, and a reaffirmation of our shared humanity.